Hello and welcome to Talk FCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys, for another video. Firstly, apologies guys for my little short break. Really, it's been about 4 days now since I uploaded, since we won the La Liga title. The problem is that I've been so busy in the past few days with my usual job, my day-to-day job, and obviously I said that one day maybe in the future it might never ever happen, but if it does, I would love to make this job my priority, but at the moment I'm not in a position to do that, so I've had to keep going on with my usual job, so that's been taking up a lot of my time. But I am here today with a video with regard to El Clasico, and in the next few days, of course, we are going to be building up to the big game, which is going to be coming up on Sunday evening. Barca against Real, the newly crowned La Liga champions, at our home, the Camp Nou, against our arch rivals Real Madrid. But a lot of people keep saying to me, does this game even matter? Should we really be excited about it? Should we hype it up? Should we be really into this? And this is why I've made this video. I want to explain some of the reasons why I believe this Clasico is still important, still deserves a lot of attention, and we need to go into it with the right attitude. And above all, we need to win this game. Make no mistake about that. We want to beat Real Madrid on Sunday, and here's why. The first reason for me is pretty simple, one of the most important ones, but it is a very simple fact. It is El Clasico. That is my first point, and one of my most important points. It is El Clasico, which automatically means this is a massive game. This is a massive game, whether there's a lot riding on it, whether there's nothing riding on it. You even saw, in pre-season back in the summer in the United States, there was a Clasico in Miami, I believe, and it was still very competitive. We still went out there wanting to win, wanted to get one over on Real Madrid, because that's just the way it is. They'll be entering the game in exactly the same situation. They've still got the Champions League to play for. There's nothing really left for them in the league, but they'll want to come there and beat us, because that's what we do. It is a competitive match. It's a rivalry. It's a real fierce hatred in many ways of one another, and we'll want to go into this game and win because it's a Clasico. It deserves our attention. It deserves a bit of hyping up because it is a massive game on the football calendar and one that we all look forward to throughout the season. And the second point, of course, is all about that unbeaten streak, and we have heard it now time and time again. I don't think throughout the season it should have always been our priority. I think that always should have been our focus, to focus on this unbeaten run that we're on. It is absolutely incredible that we are on it though, and I think now we don't have anything to play for. The one thing that really does stick out in our minds, the one thing that really is still there to really cling on to, is that unbeaten run. We are still unbeaten right now, absolutely incredibly, all season long. It has been 34 league games now. Every single match of the current campaign, we have not lost a game in the league, including, of course, December's Clasico at the Bernabeu. We got through that, and we got through many difficult games, and somehow we find ourselves in the position where, including the Clasico, we have got 4 more league games this season, and if we can stay unbeaten for all 4 of those, we will then become the only team ever in La Liga to win the league and not lose a game during the entire campaign, and that will be a heck of an achievement. That will be a massive landmark, a massive achievement for the entire squad, the coaching staff, because that will be something that has never ever been done. Like I say, throughout the season, maybe it shouldn't have been our priority, our first and foremost of our minds, but right now, with nothing left to play for in terms of the league, the cup, the Champions League, the unbeaten streak is a big thing, and the players want that as well. My third point for me is all about Ernesto Valverde and all about the future really of the club going forward, moving on, making sure really that we're making the strides to make ourselves competitive looking ahead at next season. And that's why this Clasico for me is very important, because since the Roma debacle, of course, we lost out, it was embarrassing, we tried to build ourselves back up. Ernesto Valverde looks very much like now that he will be staying at the club next season, no real doubt about that. The board are behind him, they want him to stay, the players as well seem to be sort of with him, and I think he will be here next season. So it's really interesting now for me how he approaches this Clasico. Is he going to go into this game at home against a big team in Real Madrid, but we are at home? Is he going to go into it and be attack-minded? Is he going to go out there and be brave, be bold? Everything that we want to see from Valverde, everything that we saw in many ways in that Copa del Rey final against Sevilla, where we went out there and we were an attacking force. We went out there and we really took the initiative. That's what we want to see week in, week out from Ernesto Valverde. And in this kind of game, against a very good team in Real Madrid, it is going to be tested. How are we going to approach the game? What kind of players is he going to use? Is he going to use the likes of Coutinho? possibly even Ousmane Dembele. What sort of feature are they going to have on the game? What sort of impact can they have? And I just think it's going to be really interesting and a big test in many ways. One of the last ones that we're going to see this season from Valverde, looking at what he does and then looking at how that really will impact what we're going to see from him and the squad in general next season. And with regard to my first point really, and following on here with my fourth point, it is along the same sort of lines. We want to go out there on Sunday and make a statement. You want to go out there onto the field against Real Madrid, players that we don't like, players that we really do hate facing in many ways. We want to go out there and show that we still rule in Spain. We're still ruling this league. We're top of the league. Real Madrid right now are in third position, and we want to go out there and follow on from that victory at the Bernabeu. We went there in December. We obliterated them 3-0. Lionel Messi scored. We want to go out there on Sunday and continue that. We want to do the double over them in the league. We want to keep our name right at the top and still feel that superiority over Real Madrid. They started the season, of course, with victories in the Super Cup, and at that moment we were thinking, are they going to go on and dominate now? We've turned that around. We've got ourselves back on top, and we want to continue that on Sunday. We want to go into the game, win it, put a marker down, and just say to them, you might be in the Champions League final, you might be going to your third successive Champions League title, which is incredible. You've got to hold your hands up and say that, but at the same time, we've got our league, we've got our cup, we're going to beat you now, do the double over you in the league, and we still hold that superiority. We still feel like we can go into any game against you and get a result. And in many ways, that's why I'm so sad that we're not still in the Champions League, because if we were there, Real Madrid, you can absolutely guarantee it, they would not want to face us. On any given day, Real Madrid do not enjoy playing Barcelona. They do not enjoy playing Lionel Messi, and I genuinely believe, even with the form that we've shown at different periods throughout the season against Real Madrid in a two-leg Champions League match, we would have a very good chance of going through, and that's why I'm so upset that we're not there to stop them winning it. And my final point would be all about Real Madrid building up to that Champions League final at the end of the month. They're of course against Liverpool on the 26th of May. They're going to be in action in that final, and my final point would be about denting that confidence. All the way throughout the season, Real Madrid have got through that. In the Champions League, a lot of people have said they've been lucky, they've had right decisions, and that could be said, but at the same time, we can go into that game on Sunday, and if we beat them 3-0 again, something like that, a really heavy, bad defeat really for Zinedine Zidane, that's not going to go down well in Madrid. That's not going to do their confidence any good whatsoever. And what we can always try and do, it might not work, but we can still try and do it, dent that confidence, give them a bit of doubt in their minds, a little bit of worry going into that Champions League final, just really try and expose some of those cracks that we have seen from Real Madrid right throughout the league season, because they have come into the league, they're third for a reason. We want to keep them there. We don't want them to get second. Finishing behind Atletico will also be a bit humiliating for Real Madrid, and we just want to keep that going. Beat them, make sure we, really try and expose them for what they have been right throughout the league season so far, dent their confidence, get a statement win, and try and move on, give us some positives moving on to the next season. The Clasico for me is important. You want to win every single Clasico, whether it's a friendly, whether you've got nothing to play for. You always want to win. You always want to beat Real Madrid, and no more so than when we're at the Camp Nou. We're in front of our own fans. There are going to be a lot of people there. Go out there, put on a show. I'd love Lionel Messi to score. Always great to see him scoring Clásicos. Keep his name at the very top. Keep our superiority and beat Real Madrid in El Clasico on Sunday. And just before I do leave you guys on this video, one thing that I do really want to quickly address is regarding Thiago Alcantara, because I know a lot of you guys would want me to speak about this. I'm not doing a news roundup video today, so I thought I'd bring you this in this video. Thiago this morning was linked quite heavily to Barca in Mundo Deportivo. There was a picture of him on the cover. They were sort of saying that Thiago is considering Barcelona. Thiago incidentally played excellently last night at the Santiago Bernabeu. Bayern didn't go through, of course, but he shone in that midfield for Bayern Munich. And to be honest, over the last few months, there has been a bit of a growing sensation, really, not only in Spain, but also in Germany, that Thiago would certainly accept a move back to Barcelona. He would definitely consider that if the offer was on the table. And a lot of people this morning, when they saw Thiago on that cover, when they saw a lot of rumours linking him with a return to the club, there was a lot of excitement. What I would say about that, guys, is don't get too excited about this just yet. There's a lot of things right now that aren't quite really going hand in hand with that transfer. And the number one thing of all that being the board. The board simply do not want Thiago back at the club. Bartomeu was part of the board that actually let sort of Thiago leave to Bayern Munich, let his release clause run right down so that perhaps Bayern could come in and take him all those years ago. And I just don't think the board want him. According to Rack 1, according to MD, even in that article, they do say that absolutely no contact has been made between the board and Thiago's entourage. We actively right now do not want to sign Thiago. I would have thought the board don't see him as the profile that we need. They want physical players for some absolutely crazy reason. I don't understand it. We need something like Thiago, but funny enough, the board, the people who are running this club, somehow do not see that. But obviously, in football, anything can happen. Changes can happen very, very quickly. We can stay optimistic. Thiago, for me, will be an excellent addition. I think he wants to come back. He would be expensive, though. Make no mistake about that. And of course, in the coming weeks and months, we are going to find out a lot more about what our summer is going to entail. Who are we going to be tracking? Who are we going to be bringing in? Who are we going to be shipping out? I'll have lots more videos on the summer transfer window and everything that goes with that coming up in the next few weeks, guys. Make no mistake about that. But I just wanted to make this video, guys, because I want you guys to be excited about El Clasico. We should all, even with the season that we've had, even though right now there is effectively nothing on the line, it is still exciting. We still want to win, and we should still go into it with that kind of intensity, and we want blood. We want to beat Real Madrid. Make no mistake about that. So leave your thoughts down below, guys. Interested to hear your thoughts on this Sunday's El Clasico, and like I say, there will be a lot more videos coming up previewing that game in the next few days. I will see you then. But until then, as always, Visca El Barça!